if we were building a more permanent post, blah.
What's a
English,
post?
I was trying to speak French. Yeah, and if we were building a more permanent post, why am I saying post? Yeah, and if we were building a more permanent fence, we probably would have used.
Hi everybody, and hi Jed.
Hi.
So today we are building a wooden fence, and we're gonna explain to you guys why we're building a wooden fence, why we choose wood and not another material, and what kind of wood we choose, where we bought it, and how we're building it.
You're just getting them ready for the journey they're going to take them on.
Exactly. The reason why we're building a wooden fence in our permaculture garden, it's because it has few functions. The major one is it slows down the wind. Too much wind, it's not good for the plant. Not enough wind, it's not good for the plant. The second reason is it's gonna keep the dogs out. We have here 3 dogs, and we don't want them to destroy our garden.
They poop everywhere.
Yeah.
Just everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. The third reason is the plants are going to use it as a trellis to grow up. And the last function is we're gonna build the fence in a U shape, and it's gonna create a microclimate that's gonna help all the plants in very extreme weathers.
Yeah, so that's why we have to build a fence. Obviously, we had a lot of options available to us. In permaculture, a very important principle is to try to repurpose things that already exist or to find free things. So our first stop was we picked up some free pallets and we tried to deconstruct these construction pallets, which went okay, but we weren't sure where they were from, and we were a little nervous about if they had carried any kind of dangerous chemicals that could contaminate our soil. So we decided against pallets, and we decided to go with a picket fence. So we chose this mostly because we thought of all the fence options we had between like a plastic fence and a picket fence, we thought this one would do the best job of blocking the wind just enough to help create that perfect microclimate that Salim was talking about. When it came to picket fences, we had a lot of options available. The cheapest pre-made one, there was a fence that was at Home Depot for about, I think it was $35 for an 8-foot segment. So given the amount of work we were going to do, it would have cost us a ton of money to buy those pre-made. However, they also sell individual pickets and the cross beams that we needed for a much, much lower price. So for about half the price, we decided to build it ourselves. And one of the benefits of that too is we have a little bit more flexibility with how long each segment is, because we're working with kind of a funny oblong area. So we can have 8-foot segments, we can extend them to 10-foot segments, because we're building them all ourselves.
So we've decided to use those metal posts that we found on Ace Hardware. The reason why we decided those, it's because it's sturdy enough for us and it's very easy to place. And basically we're gonna use 2 of these posts in an 8-foot segment fence. So for this job, it's the cheapest thing and sturdy enough for what we wanna do.
I'll be honest, at first I was a little nervous that building fences on our own would be really hard. And it turns out it's actually pretty straightforward. All you need to do...
He's often nervous for like little things.
And
by the way, this is our second take because he had to change his t-shirt here.
I had oil stains. So, So it turns out putting together your own fence is actually not terribly hard. All you have to do is lay out the 2 parallel pieces, lay out your pickets, measure them and mark them to make sure they're all in the right places. And then it's just 2 screws on the top, 2 screws on the bottom. They're all locked into place. And then once you have your green posts ready, you just drill holes through the spots where the posts, where you're gonna put a bolt through. And then we just bought 2.5-inch bolts, and that's what fixes the whole thing together.
So the most important thing here to respect, to do, is to put the post, to have it like straight,
vertically. So
Plumb.
plumb.
The word is plumb.
Plumb. Okay.
It's a fun word.
So we were like using the level to make sure it's as vertical as possible, because if we are a little bit in angle, so we're gonna have the pressure of the weight of the fence, and it may fall and break.
We use these metal gardening stakes, which are super easy to drive into the ground, but then the having it be plumb. What a fun word to say. Having it be plumb is even more important because they can only take so much force on them or the little metal bits break off. In order to deal with the slope, we ended up having to dig out a little bit of dirt, like a small trench, just to make our lives a little easier. And then in addition to that, we also trimmed about 2 to 3 inches off of the bottom of some of these pickets, just so we could have a nice even top line, even if the bottom line is a little bit more jagged. It just gives us a nicer look for our garden. So because we use these metal stakes, driving them into the ground is super easy. We just used a regular hammer for the first part, and then a much larger and heavier sledgehammer for the last part. And really that's all you need, a hammer, a sledgehammer, and a level, and you can get them into the ground and have a nice enough looking fence up in no time. Nice. Okay, good job.
Okay.
No, you're okay. You're okay. You're a slope. You're a tiny slope.
Hi guys. Hi Jad.
It's the same hi every time.
Okay.
Okay.